Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this video, all praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, on with you brothers pushing and laboring through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Barakatham, unto you brothers. And the title of this video is The Heathen Taught the Israelites at a Young Age about our captivity. These are just different examples, so-called wonders of the world, which these are just different places, basically, that Jake was held captive. Jake had a hand in all of these different areas. So I'm gonna just start off by reading 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. And going back to E is a false prophet, man. You cannot believe nothing that Esau Edom speaks on. Now, of course, he's right, about certain things. But everything that he teaches you is twisted. See, in school, you would learn about, the pyramids of Giza, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal, so on and so forth. Not knowing that this is built up, all these, beautiful, setups. That's set up by Jake building big ass idols. Jake building these different, like lighthouse. For example, the lighthouse is Jake. And then you in captivity all throughout the world in different time periods. Yet the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here in America, you don't want to hear the truth. These are just different examples, of our captivity. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play it.
Stonehenge, located on the Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, consists of a circular. Stonehenge originally
started out with just an old car working with my dad. Wanted to make him proud. Then as I got older,
it reflects the architectural and engineering mastery of ancient Egyptian civilization. Originally standing at 481 feet tall, the Great Pyramid remained the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It is made from an estimated 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, each weighing between 2.5 and 15 tons. The exact methods used to construct the pyramid remain debated, but scholars believe that ramps, sledges, and a highly organized labor force played critical roles. Contrary to popular
Yeah, highly or a formidable force. That's the Israelites. Yet Jake want to call himself Egyptian. You're not Egyptian, nigga. You were held captive and beat and tortured. This was, the construction of these great pyramids, thousands upon thousands of Israelites died building them pyramids.
Evidence suggests the builders were not slaves, but rather skilled workers who were well fed and...
Now, that's bullshit. Yet, to also add to that, you had certain Israelites who were more mentally, they were more mentally skilled there as far as mathematics, geometry, things of that nature. So you did have Israelites who actually, just like how you have now, you have certain Jakes that are, architects, things of that nature. Yet they ultimately enslaved too. Why? Because they building the pyramids just like these low level slaves, just in a different way.
Oust in nearby worker villages. The pyramid's near perfect alignment with the cardinal points and its precise dimensions demonstrate a remarkable understanding of mathematics and astronomy. Its base is almost a perfect square, and its sides are closely aligned with true north. Inside, the pyramid contains a complex network of passageways and chambers. Its massive scale and intricate design makes this wonder so fascinating, with the mystery surrounding how it was built with the limited technology of the time continuing to spark debate. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are one of the most legendary wonders of the ancient world, often celebrated for their stunning beauty and advanced engineering. Believed to have been constructed around 600 BC, the gardens are traditionally attributed to King Nebuchadnezzar II of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. According to ancient accounts, he built the gardens in the city of Babylon near present-day Hilla in Iraq to please his wife Amytis, who longed for the garden hills and lush landscapes of her homeland in Media. The Hanging Gardens were described as a high-rise garden, featuring exotic trees, plants, and vines, all thriving in the middle of a desert region. What made them a wonder of the world was not just their visual magnificence, but the impressive irrigation system believed to have sustained them. Ancient writers such as Strabo and Philo mention an elaborate system of water lifts or screw pumps that transported water from the Euphrates River to the upper levels of the garden. Despite their fame, no definitive archaeological evidence of the gardens has ever been found in Babylon, leading some scholars to speculate that they may have been located elsewhere, or that they were purely mythical. Some theories suggest they might have actually been located in Nineveh, the Assyrian capital, under the reign of King Sennacherib. Whether myth or reality, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon continue to captivate the imagination for their ambitious design, cultural significance, and the mystery surrounding their existence.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and background play, so you can watch.
Temple of Artemis at Ephesus.
And Jake was building that up, getting beat down.
This was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, known for its grand scale, artistic beauty, and religious significance. It was originally built.
This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 2. Hereby know ye the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahweh HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And this is the spirit of anti-Hamashiach, whereof ye have heard that it should come, even now already is it in the world. And see, if you anti-Yahweh, you anti-Yahweh Shai. If you anti-Yahweh Shai, you anti-Yahweh. So all these different times of our captivity and all these different things that are set up, and by our people too. Our people are talented, so of course they building up all these, buildings.
Around 550 BC in the ancient city of Ephesus, located in present-day Turkey. The temple was commissioned by King Croesus of Lydia and constructed by the Greek architect Chersiphron and his son Metagenes. Dedicated Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and fertility, the temple was a major religious center that attracted worshippers and visitors from across the ancient world. The structure measured approximately 425 feet long and 225 feet wide, making it larger than a modern football field. It was supported by over 120 ionic columns, each standing about 60 feet tall. Made primarily of marble, the temple featured detailed carvings and sculptures, including contributions from some of the most skilled artists of the time. The temple served not only as a place of worship, but also as a marketplace and cultural hub. The temple was destroyed and rebuilt multiple times due to floods, arson, and invasions. One of the most infamous acts of destruction occurred in 356 BC, when a man named Herostratus set fire to it in an attempt to gain fame. Interestingly, the temple is said to have burned on the same night Alexander the Great was born. It was later rebuilt even more magnificently, but was ultimately destroyed again by the Goths in 262 AD. Though only fragments of its foundation and a few columns remain today, the Temple of Artemis continues to be remembered as a symbol of ancient religious devotion, architectural excellence, and cultural achievement. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, celebrated for its artistic magnificence and spiritual significance.
Spiritual significance. And Jake, you already know Jake, big into the, I'm trying to think of the word. There's a word for it as far as, the different, Mount Olympus, and the word is escaping me. But ultimately, it's just idols. But you have, Poseidon and Zeus and things of that nature, which is all false. This is all, idol worship.
It was created around 435 BC in the sanctuary of Olympia, Greece, the site of the ancient Olympic Games. This colossal statue was crafted by the famed sculptor Phidias, who was also responsible for the statue of Athena in the Parthenon. It was commissioned by the Hellenes to honor Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, and to enhance the prestige of their city in its sacred games. The statue stood approximately 40 feet tall and was seated on a grand throne inside the Temple of Zeus. It was made using a technique that combined gold and ivory over a wooden framework. The figure of Zeus held a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in his right hand, and a scepter topped with an eagle in his left hand, and the throne itself was decorated with intricate carvings and precious.
Eagle. Esau. Why? Because Esau had us, in captivity in all these different times, man. Jake has always been in captivity somewhere. Obadiah 1:4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Yeah, so the Lord gonna bring your ass down. Lord is going to bring your red ass down. See, because now some of these, wonders are still standing. But, a lot of, they all crumbled. And the Lord, when we are in our perfect bodies, all that's getting broke down. What is left of these little statues and whatnot is getting broke down. Alright? Because you heathens, you're going to be forced to worship Yahweh Shem Shah. We ain't finna have, look at it. It's just wicked. You can just look at that. It look wicked. It's a big, wicked idol.
Stones. Ancient writers described it as so awe-inspiring that it gave the impression of Zeus himself inhabiting the temple. Despite its fame, the statue was eventually moved to Constantinople, where it is believed to have been destroyed in a fire sometime in the 5th or 6th century. Though the statue no longer exists, its legacy lives on through descriptions by ancient historians and travelers.
With the YouTube Music app, you can blend up to 30 artists into one big custom radio station, which means
The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, known for its architectural brilliance and artistic beauty. It was constructed around 350 BC in the city of Halicarnassus, located in modern-day Bodrum, Turkey. The tomb was built by Queen Artemisia II in honor of her husband and brother, Mausolus, the Persian governor of Caria. After his death, Artemisia commissioned the grand structure to serve both as his burial site and as a monument to his legacy. The mausoleum stood approximately 135 feet tall and combined elements of Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architecture, making it a unique and innovative structure for its time. It was built on a rectangular base and featured a series of stepped platforms surrounded by 36 Ionic columns. Above was a pyramid-shaped roof topped with a grand structure of Mausolus and Artemisia riding a 4-horse chariot. The design of this structure was a collaboration between some of the greatest sculptors of the period, including Scopas, Bryaxis, Leochares, and Timotheus. The structure was both a royal tomb and an artistic masterpiece that celebrated the cultural fusion of the ancient world. Its beauty and scale set a standard for monumental tombs and inspired the term mausoleum that is still used today. The structure stood for over 1,600 years before it was gradually destroyed by earthquakes during the Middle Ages. Today, only fragments remain, but the legacy of its artistic achievement and architectural innovation continues to fascinate countless people to this day. The Colossus of Rhodes was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, admired for its enormous scale and engineering ingenuity. It was built around 280 BC on the Greek island of Rhodes to celebrate the successful defense of the city against a siege by Demetrius I of Macedon in 305 BC. The people of Rhodes, part of the Hellenistic Greek civilization, commissioned the statue as a symbol of their unity and resilience. The sculptor, Chares of Lindos, a student of the famous Lysippus, was chosen to design and construct the monument. The statue depicted the sun god Helios, the patron deity of Rhodes, and was made of bronze plates over an iron framework. It stood approximately 100 to 110 feet tall, making it one of the tallest statues of the ancient world. According to some ancient accounts, it may have stood near the harbor entrance, but there are interpretations that it was mounted on the harbor itself, although those are most likely exaggerated myths. Regardless of its exact location, the statue was a remarkable feat of engineering and artistry, created using melted down bronze from the abandoned enemy siege equipment. The statue stood for only about 54 years before it was destroyed by a powerful earthquake in 226 BC. The remains lay in place for centuries, drawing awe from those who saw the fallen pieces, until they were eventually sold off for scrap metal by invading forces. Although no trace of the Colossus remains today, its legend lives on, with it inspiring many colossal monuments that came after it. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Pharos of Alexandria, was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was constructed around 280 BC on the small island of Pharos, just off the coast of Alexandria, Egypt. The project was commissioned by Ptolemy I Soter, a successor of Alexander the Great, and was completed during the reign of his son, Ptolemy II. Designed by the Greek architect Sostratus of Cnidus, the lighthouse was intended to guide sailors safely into the busy harbor of Alexandria, one of the most important cities of the ancient Mediterranean world. The lighthouse is estimated to have stood between 330 and 400 feet tall, making it one of the tallest man-made structures of the ancient world. It was built in 3 tiers: a square base, a cylindrical midsection, and a smaller circular beacon platform at the top. At night, a large open flame served as the light source, and during the day, polished bronze mirrors reflected sunlight across the sea. It is even believed that the light could be seen from over 30 miles away. This structure had a direct influence on lighthouse construction for centuries after it was created. It stood for over a millennium, but was eventually damaged by a series of earthquakes between the 10th and 14th centuries. By the late 1400s, it had collapsed entirely. Today, submerged ruins of the lighthouse remain off the coast of Alexandria, offering glimpses into one of the most iconic landmarks in human history. The Great Wall of China is one of the most iconic wonders of the world, known for its extraordinary scale and historical significance. Its construction began as early as the 7th century BC, but the most famous sections were built during the Qin dynasty, under Emperor Qin Shi Huang in the 3rd century BC. The purpose of the wall was to protect the Chinese states and empires from invasions and raids by nomadic tribes from the south, especially the Xiongnu. Over the centuries, various dynasties, specifically the Han and Ming, expanded and reinforced the wall, creating the extensive network of fortifications seen today. The Great Wall stretches over 13,000 miles across northern China, from the Bohai Sea in the east to the Gobi Desert in the west. It was constructed using a variety of materials, including earth, wood, bricks, and stone, depending on the geography and resources of each region. Workers included soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, and the construction was grueling and dangerous, resulting in countless deaths, depending on the geography and resources of each region. Workers included soldiers, peasants, and
prisoners. And you know the Israelites are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, you know. So you had Jake, you know, building up, you know, Jake getting beat, you know, carrying water and materials.
And the construction was grueling and dangerous, resulting in countless deaths during the building process. What makes the Great Wall so fascinating is that much of it was built on mountainous terrain, also including watchtowers, barracks, and signaling systems that enabled communication over vast distances.
Shop bestsellers at Ashley, where no matter what your holiday traditions are, you're always at home. Whether you're making extra room with our extended...
Being said, the Great Wall is more than just a military barrier. It represents the determination, engineering skill, and unity of the Chinese people throughout history. It also played a symbolic role in defining the cultural boundary between China and the nomadic peoples beyond. Today, it stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a reminder of China's ancient civilization, attracting millions of visitors from around the globe each year. Petra, often referred to as the Rose City due to its pink hue of its sandstone cliffs, is one of the most astonishing architectural and cultural wonders of the ancient world. Located in present-day Jordan, Petra was established as early as the 4th century BC by the Nabateans, an ancient Arab people who transformed the site into a thriving center of trade and culture. The city flourished between the 1st century BC and the 2nd century AD, serving as a major hub along caravan routes that linked Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Rather than building upward with stone bricks, the Nabateans carved their city directly into the rock faces of narrow desert canyons. The most iconic structure is Al-Khazna, or the Treasury, a massive facade carved into a sandstone cliff, standing over 100 feet tall with exquisite Hellenistic architectural details. Other parts of it include the monastery, the royal tombs, and an intricately engineered water management system that allowed the city to thrive in a dry desert environment. The Nabateans were highly skilled engineers and stonemasons, using a combination of chisels and hammering techniques to shape the soft sandstone. They developed an advanced network of dams and aqueducts that collected and stored rainwater, which was essential for sustaining their population and gardens. Petra's blend of Eastern traditions with Greco-Roman architectural styles reflects the city's role as a cultural crossroads. The Colosseum, also known
Edomites.
as the Flavian Amphitheater, is one of the most iconic monuments of ancient Rome and a remarkable example of Roman engineering and architecture. Construction began in 72 under the emperor Vespasian of the Flavian dynasty and was completed in 80 during the reign of his son Titus. The Roman Empire built the Colosseum as a grand arena for public entertainment, specifically gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, and mock naval battles. With a capacity of around 50,000 to 80,000 spectators, it was the largest amphitheater ever built in the ancient world. Built using concrete, limestone, brick, and volcanic rock, the structure incorporated a sophisticated system of vaults and arches that allowed for both strength and flexibility. Its tiered seating design ensured clear sightliness for spectators, while a complex system of underground tunnels and elevators enabled the dramatic and sudden appearance of animals and fighters into the arena. The Colosseum symbolized the might and grandeur of the Roman Empire and its ability to organize large-scale events to entertain and control the public. Although it suffered damage from earthquakes, fires, and stone scavenging over the centuries, the Colosseum still stands as a testament to ancient Rome's ingenuity and influence. Rediscovered and preserved over time, the Colosseum remains one of the most visited historical sites in the world. Chichen Itza is one of the most remarkable achievements of the ancient Maya civilization, located in the Yucatan Peninsula of present-day Mexico. The city was established around 600 and reached its peak around 900 and 1200. It became a major political, religious, and economic center in Mesoamerica. The Maya, known for their advanced knowledge in astronomy, architecture, and mathematics, created Chichen Itza, a complex city filled with temples, ball courts, observatories, and ceremonial plazas. What makes Chichen Itza a wonder of the world is the sophistication of its construction and the astronomical precision embodied in its architecture, specifically in the Temple of Kukulkan, also known as El Castillo. This pyramid was designed with such precision that during spring and autumn, sunlight creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the steps of the pyramid, symbolizing the descent of the feathered serpent deity Kukulkan. The pyramid has 365 steps, one for each day of the solar year, demonstrating the Maya's understanding of the calendar and celestial movements. The city was constructed using limestone blocks, carefully cut and placed without the use of metal tools, pack animals, or the wheel. The Maya relied on human labor and ingenuity to transport and assemble these materials. Structures like the Great Ball Court, the largest of its kind in ancient Mesoamerica, and the Caracol Observatory reveal their deep connection with the cosmos and ritual life. Abandoned by the 15th century for reasons still debated, the city was eventually reclaimed by the jungle until rediscovered by explorers. Machu Picchu is a breathtaking archaeological site located high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, built by the Inca civilization in the 15th century. Most historians believe it was constructed during the reign of the Inca emperor Pachacuti around 1450. The site likely served as a royal estate or religious retreat, though its exact purpose remains a subject of debate. What makes Machu Picchu a wonder of the world is its remarkable preservation, its dramatic mountain setting, nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, and the ingenuity of its construction in such a remote and rugged location. The Incas built Machu Picchu without the use of iron tools, wheels, or mortar. Instead, they mastered a technique called ashlar masonry, in which stones were precisely cut to fit together tightly without the need for cement. This method allowed the structures to withstand earthquakes, which are common in the region. The site includes more than 150 buildings, including temples, residences, terraces, and ceremonial centers. The most iconic features include the Temple of the Sun, the Intihuatana stone used for astronomical purposes, and the agricultural terraces that supported the site's food supply. Machu Picchu remained hidden from the outside world for centuries, largely unknown to Spanish conquerors, which helped preserve its structures. It was brought to international attention in 1911 by an American historian. Since then, it has become one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world and a symbol of Inca achievement. The Taj Mahal is one of the most celebrated architectural masterpieces in the world, located in Agra, India. It was commissioned in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a mausoleum for his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who died during childbirth. The Mughal Empire, which ruled much of the Indian subcontinent during this time, was known for blending Persian, Islamic, and Indian architectural styles, and the Taj Mahal represents the pinnacle of that fusion. It took over 20 years to complete, with construction finishing around 1653, and involved thousands of artisans, laborers, and craftsmen. What makes the Taj Mahal a wonder of the world is its beauty, symmetry, and intricate detail, all made more impressive by the fact that it was built during a period without modern machinery. The structure is made primarily from white marble, brought from Rajasthan, with the central dome rising over 240 feet. The Taj Mahal complex includes formal gardens, a reflecting pool, and a mosque, all laid out with meticulous precision, according to the principles of Mughal garden design. The structure itself is covered with verses from the Quran, floral motifs, and detailed carvings that show an extraordinary level of craftsmanship. Over the centuries, the Taj Mahal has withstood invasions, environmental threats, and pollution. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983, it continues to draw millions of visitors each year, and was rightfully named one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Christ the Redeemer is one of the most iconic monuments in the world, standing high atop Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It was completed in 1931, and is a modern creation compared to the other wonders of the world. The statue is designed and built by Brazilian engineer Heider da Silva Costa and French sculptor Paul Landowski, with help from Romanian sculptor Jorge Leonida, who crafted the face. The monument was created during a time when Brazil was seeking to reinforce its Christian identity, and it was constructed by a predominantly Catholic society to symbolize peace, faith, and unity. The statue stands 98.
That's part of Jake being in captivity. Being forced with Christ.
Feet tall, with an additional 26-foot pedestal, and its arms stretched 92 feet wide. Built using reinforced concrete and covered in thousands of triangular soapstone tiles, the statue was constructed in pieces and assembled atop the mountain, a feat of engineering given the difficult terrain and limited technology available at the time. It overlooks the city of Rio de Janeiro in the Atlantic Ocean, serving as both a spiritual symbol and a cultural landmark visible.
I'm looking for a specific. No need to trip and force the spirit, you know. It'll come back. It'll come back around, you know. So with that, Lord's will, you're edified. Call halal. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers who are pushing all throughout the four winds of the earth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Kodash, Barakatham, and to you brothers. All right, and all these different idols, everything is falling away. Nothing can stand against this truth. You know, this truth is gone, you know, worldwide. All right, the sea hip is on the way. All right, and you're going to see people when all hell breaking loose. You're going to see people in front of all these different idols. No answers. All right. But we know who we worship. The hopeful elect of the nation Israel. We worship Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so with that, Abba Ball and Kwam Yashala. Shalom.